Thank you, Anne, for that very fine speech. We now move on to our last speaker for the opposition, and our last speaker for this evening, Sir Peter Bazalgette. Armed with a third, I'm only reading what's written. Armed with a third in law from Fitzwilliam College, from which he travelled to the Union, Sir Peter first joined BBC News. Subsequently, he created TV entertainment formats and later chaired ITV and Arts Council England. Currently, he chairs the Royal College of Art and the Creative Industries Council. His books include Billion Dollar Game and The Empathy Instinct. He was president of the Cambridge Union in Michaelmas 1975. Peter, you have the ears of the House.
Mr. President, sir. What's the matter with him? Did you elect him? I mean, honestly, never mind. Mr. President, sir, good evening. That's all I was going to say. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Now, before I address this evening's motion, if I must, I would like to say one thing to this House that I think will unite it. And that is, given the events of the last 3 weeks, the Oxford Union has neither style nor substance. Now, Mr. President, sir, this motion can be summarised in a nutshell as Cavaliers versus Roundheads. Look at them. Cavaliers, each of you, superficially attractive, a touch louche, but ultimately losers. Now look at us. Look at us. Stolid, prone to occasional violence, but in the end reliable. Men of substance. Would you kindly not interrupt me when I'm speaking? It's most impolite. Or if you like, it could be summed up in another way. The hare and the tortoise. The hares, look at them, the three of them there. Stylish, showy, go into an early lead, but we all know how it ends. The tortoises, on the other hand, scaly with bulbous faces. It's all right, I'll speak for myself. But focused, steady, munching the odd bit of lettuce, it's true. But we cross the winning line first in the end, do we not? We do. Now, sir, it is 50 months. It isn't 50 months, it's 50 years. 50 years to the month that I sat in your chair, Mr. President. You're surprised, aren't you? This man said, he's surprised because he thinks I'm 23. Thank you very much. 50 years to the month. We had a debate, televised by BBC. Harold Macmillan came for honorary membership. Harold Macmillan, the acme of style. Feline and ultimately very untrustworthy. Sitting beside him, his old enemy, Rab Butler. Stolid, reliable, Rab Butler of the 1944 Education Act. But most of all, a Cambridge man, a Trinity man, and at the time in charge of Trinity, the master of Trinity. They hated each other. They sat next to, they hated each other. They sniped at each other all evening. Who do we prefer, Macmillan or Butler? We are Cambridge folk here. We prefer Butler. Substance over style. Now, let us come to the debate. We heard from a number of speakers. Some even made speeches. And the evening began with Cambridge Union's own self-confessed James Bond. Once a spook, always a spook. You may have noticed I've been made to wear this rather strange contraption. I was told it amplified me or something. I'm not quite understanding what that's about. But what I can tell you is this spook here has commandeered the entire electronic system. And with the aid of AI, he's been feeding messages into my ear all evening. And I want to give you thank you very much, I want to give you a sample. Because his AI system seems to have gone a bit haywire. Let me see, what's the latest? Sheffield Wednesday for the Cup. Well, good luck with that one. The check's in the post. Heard that before, Christopher. And what coming through now? Farage for PM. Chris, now you've gone too far. We know spooks are right wing, but that is too much. Yes, but why not talk to us? We haven't heard from you more than 3 times this evening.
Farage for PM, is that a style or substance?
Yes, that's an interesting but ultimately irrelevant question. So if I may, I'm going to return to Mr. Steele's speech. He talked about extinct volcanoes, flat beer, shell suits, Kim Kardashian, and sewage, but mostly about sewage. And then, worst of all, he addressed the motion. I found that unforgivable. He was followed by Michael Howard, who made a speech for the opposition. It was brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. Point of order? Don't you know what the rules are here?
Point of information.
Well, if I must.
No, you must. Look, I read your CV and things, seen the moments where you introduced Galloway and the cat, and I was looking, thinking, I'll give this man a chance. But all I've heard from you so far is style but no substance. Come on, get to the debate, get to the point.
I'm glad you've made an interruption at this point. Shall I tell you why? Because I'm coming to you next. This gentleman from the front row, I couldn't catch his name in college because it wasn't sufficiently amplified. And we could say the same for his arguments. The only thing I recall from his speech is he has an unhealthy fetish for Margaret Thatcher. He was followed by Richard Parsons. Was that your name, sir? Is that your name?
Parkins.
Richard Parkins. I stand corrected. He was followed by Richard Parkins of Trinity College. Richard has quite the finest beard since Alfred Lord Tennyson. He spoke against the motion. He looked like a sage. He is a sage. Then we had an abstainer, Gabriel from Trinity College. This was a slightly mind-bending speech. He was obsessed by substances, like many people in Trinity are. And I have to say, we did ask ourselves, having heard him, what is he smoking? Next, we heard from Olivia Potts. She's a cook. The clue's in the name. She told us a tale of woe because she wanted to speak for the opposition. We felt her pain. She indeed had tremendous style, but she was allergic to facts. In fact, I would say she had a pathological fear of facts. It was only when she said "sod it" that we found we could agree with her. Otherwise, I thought she cooked up and served, as she should, a galumphray of discreet fictions and gossamer fantasies. She said to us, I think I've got this quotation right, "Without style, there is no democracy." But we realized, having listened to her, that with style alone, there is nothing at all. Rien, zilch. Then we had Karen Villamoria, another lord, another member of the House of Lords. I felt rather in a minority on this side of the House. It was another speech for the opposition, and it was another work of genius. Then we had the president-elect, Christopher, up there. He's a cheeky chappy, isn't he? A low blow, but a justified one, sir. And he was advertised as making a floor speech, but he wasn't on the floor. He was in the balcony. And he had his own sort of Mussolini moment up there, I thought. He he told us that somebody had said to him, "You are going to make a good president of the Union," and then he said, "It has come true." But he hasn't been president of the Union yet. He's president-elect. So, there we are. Not much style, not much substance, but a simple untruth, I thought. Next, we heard from a gentleman from Sydney, Sussex. No, Sydney, Sussex, not Sydney. That's something else. Look, I don't mind people passing me amorous notes in the middle of the debate. In fact, at my age, I'm pathetically grateful. But could you do it more discreetly? Thank you. Well, the gentleman from Sydney, Sussex... May I go back to the debate? Thank you so much. The gentleman from Sydney, Sussex accused the proposition of substance and the opposition of style. Confusing or what? But it was a speech for the opposition, so who am I to disagree with him? Then, as an abstainer, we had Sonia from the Edinburgh Union. Could you say it again? Cassandra. I only want you to say it again because you say it so beautifully. Cassandra, I beg your pardon, from the newly founded Edinburgh Union. It only took you 210 years, but better late than never. Then we heard Jack from Peterhouse, 1972 year of, for the opposition. Brilliant. Even somebody from Peterhouse can be brilliant occasionally.
Time. Sit down. Substance.
Let me give you a little present. No, you keep that. And I'll autograph it for you later. Then there was an abstainer from Christ's who talked about false dichotomies, which I think is a painful medical condition, but I wish him good luck. He said, how can you have substance with style? How can you have style without substance? What was he talking about? Well, it became clear what he was talking about. He was publicising a podcast. And very good luck to him. Did you notice that at the end of his speech, he placed his microphone rather firmly down, it rolled off there, it broke a glass on the floor, and I suddenly realised what the whole evening's about. We're having a Jewish wedding. So then, we came to Baroness Malilu, for it is she. She told us it was 58 years since her presidency. I find that difficult to believe, Baroness Malilu. She accused two speakers of being Welsh, which I thought was a very low blow. She told us she spoke in the debate 10 years ago, and I have to tell you she did speak in the debate 10 years ago, so I was here, you were here, Michael. Now, in the debate 10 years ago, she was obsessed with blow-up dolls. And I have to tell you, things have got worse. Because tonight she was obsessed by pornography. She must be the only person here who has seen the film called Camelot. But what we wanted to know is how many times has she seen the film Camelot? Now, we've had a lovely evening. Michael, Anne, as I say, you and I did the 200th anniversary debate 10 years ago. Here we are again. Will we be spared for the 220th? Probably only if we eat our Weetabix. But as we come to the end of this charming evening, hosted beautifully by you, Mr. President, can I be allowed one serious point? I know you might think I'm like the sort of person who drags facts into a conversation like so many unwanted dogs, but I just want to make one serious point, which is relevant to the motion. So you have to, you see, I was, in the end, you get it, yeah, it's fine. And it's the state of the world, that small subject, the state of the world. The state of the world. There's a crime family in the White House led by someone with the narcissism of a 5-year-old. There's a psychopath in the Kremlin making war on Europe. In Iran and North Korea, we have two hostile semi-nuclear states. Here at home, the collapse of our moderate centrist politics in favour of extremes on the right and left is what we're witnessing. So, Mr. President, This is no time for style. This is a serious moment. It's a time for substance. So I'm bound to urge you all this evening, as you walk out of this chamber, to vote through the no door. The no door. You will walk through the no door. You can show your seriousness as a generation by going through the no door. Thank you, Mr. President, and good night.
Thank you, Peter, for that fine speech in opposition. Order! Order! Thank you. Before we move to voting, a few short notices from me. First of all, I'd like to come back to the refrain that we were doing at the beginning of the evening, which is thank you all so much for joining us as we celebrate 200 years of a legacy of free speech. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. Before we move to vote, a few short notices, including the announcement of the floor speech prize to whichever lucky person among us will be gracing the door of Ryder and Amy's. The winner of this week... Trinity is the winner of this week's floor speech prize. Please do come and see me afterwards. Thank you. I'm sure some of you might be delighted to know that next week, Saturday, Varsity returns on home turf. We are hosting the Varsity debate. Next week, Saturday, the motion before the House is this House would rather be nice than right. We are on the proposition. Please do come along. We are hoping for a decisive victory against Oxford and the others. Few other things from me. The Winter Ball is scheduled for Tuesday, December 2nd. For those of you who would like to join us again with your dancing shoes, please feel so inclined. We would love to see you there. The theme this year is a cowboy Christmas, a Southern homecoming. How exciting. Just to say, one of the beautiful things about this job, and a number of former presidents have said, is that we sit down and we're able to discuss a range of really exciting motions that are at the heart of cultural discourse. So some of the other motions that are to come this term includes a motion about immigration in Europe, one on Blair and Britain, one on the situation in the Middle East, one on the ECHR, and the presidential, which is set to be a motion about the Republican Party. As I'm sure many of you will know, there are lots of things to be getting involved with the union. The current state of affairs is alive and well. It is a promising union. It's a union that is strong, and the program this term is one of our most ambitious yet. And a huge thank you to all of the different people around the room, from our trustees to our standing committee, to bringing that together. And I really do hope that we will continue to see you in and around the building as we have done tonight. So, in this House, we vote by our feet. Tellers, please take your places. When the time comes very shortly, please do walk through the doors to tell us your vote, and we will announce the results of the vote in the bar afterwards. Thank you all very much, and good night.